Hi, thanks for joining for top economic stories of the day. Subscribe to the channel for daily and quick updates of top economic news from the Economic Times. So the first news from today's Economic Times is Japan's MUFG may cut $2 billion check for 20% in HDB finance. So Japan's Mitsubishi UFG Financial Group, which is world's second largest bank holding company, is in talks with HDB Financial Services, which is a non-banking subsidiary of HDFC Bank. Uh, they have been in talks for several years, but now the discussions have taken momentum, and a final decision is likely to be taken in the next week's HDFC Bank's board meeting. The discussion that is happening for the stakes, the valuation is at $9 to 10 billion. Now, this SDB Financial Services, it is categorized as one of the 16 upper layer non-banking financial companies by the Central Bank of India. And as per the rule from the central bank, they are subjected to greater regulatory scrutiny. The company is planning for an IPO in the last quarter of calendar 2024 or first quarter of 2025. Currently in SDB Financial Services, a majority of stakes, almost 95%, are owned by an HDFC Bank, and rest are with employees as the stock options. HDB Financial Services, they offer personal, business, home and auto loans, and also the loan against the property. Currently they have customer base of 14.6 million with a branch network of 1618 branches in 1125 cities. This is the data as of December end. If we talk about the revenue and profit, then as of March 31st, 2023, the total revenue from the operations was 12,403 crores with a PAT, profit after tax, of rupees 1,959 crores. Next news, TCS posts 9.1% rise in Q4 net profit, signals end to IT pain. This comes with a record $13.2 billion new deals which TCS could hit in Jan to March quarter. If we talk about Jan to March quarter, the net profit of TCS was at 12,434 crores with a 9.1% growth, and revenue with 3.5% growth was at 61,237 crore rupees. For complete fiscal year 24, the revenue was 2,40,893 crores, up by 6.8% year on year basis, and net income was at 45,908 crore, up by 8.9% on year basis. The industry is optimistic that this would signal the turnaround for the Indian IT industry, which is a $250 billion software export industry, which has been having some difficult times lately. Now, TCS is the second largest IT firm globally after Accenture, and they have declared a interim dividend of rupees 28 per share after the results. If we talk about the head count, then at the end of the fiscal year for TCS, the total head count is at a little higher than 6 lakh, which is lesser by almost 13,000 numbers as compared to fiscal year 23. And in quarter 4, the headcount drop was around 1759. The increment for the employees has also been rolled out, which is in the range of 4.5 to 7%. And company aims to hire 40,000 freshers in the coming year. Next, inflation slips below 5%, IIP at 4-month high. So the retail inflation has eased to a 10-month low of 4.85% in March, and the industrial output has hit a 4-month high of 5.7% in February. But still, the central bank is not likely to cut the rates. They would possibly watch for June September monsoon and other external factors before deciding any rate cuts. With respect to weather, the forecast is for the intentionally hot summer. Along with the rising crude prices, it could pose a risk to the inflation trajectory. While overall consumer inflation has eased to 4.85 from 5.09 in the previous month, the decline in food inflation has been very marginal, which is at 8.52 from 8.66%. Among the food categories, there has been double-digit inflation for example, eggs, pulses, vegetables, and spices. We talk about pulses, then inflation was at 17.7% in March, which has been in double digits for the 10 consecutive months. And vegetable inflation was at 28.3% compared to 30.2% in previous month. Next news is from telecom sector, where Vodafone Idea is going for a FPO and targeting to raise 18,000 crore through the India's largest FPO. And this will open on April 18th and will close on April 22nd. The telecom, which is a merger of Aditya Birla Group's Idea and India unit of Vodafone, it has priced the issue at rupees 10 to 11 a share. Previous to this, the largest FPO was raised by Yes Bank in 2020, where they raised 15,000 crore rupees. In February last year, Adani Enterprises had cancelled its FPO all of a sudden, which was targeting rupees 20,000 crore, and it was done just a day before it was scheduled to be closed. And following to that, there was a decline of 28.5% in the Adani share in the wake of Hindenburg research report. Next is stars may have finally aligned for Musk's Satcom company. So Elon Musk's company, Starlink, it had applied for a GMPCS license in India in October 2022. And now the government is fast tracking its application for the Satcom license. People in the know, they expect that the Elon Musk company may be given the conditional approval based on their undertaking, and the undertaking would be that they would not be sharing with any US agency the machines or equipment used in India, and all the data should not be routed outside the country. So based on these conditions, a conditional approval might be given to the company for the license. And it may also be asked to partner an Indian company in a time-bound manner. Musk is also set to travel India later this month and is expected to meet Prime Minister Modi, where he would be sharing his plans for Tesla factory. It is expected to be announced during his visit. Earlier, Bharti Enterprise backed Eutelsat, OneWeb, and Reliance Jio's Satcom venture have already received the GMPCS permits. And Jeff Bezos led Amazon, they have also applied for the license with the project Kuiper Satellite Broadband Ventures. Next news from automobile sector. New cars hit Indian roads in record numbers last year. With a 8.4% growth, passenger vehicles sales stood at 4.22 million in fiscal year 24. And it touched almost 5 million units if we include the 0.7 million exports unit as well. So SIAM, which is the Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, as per SIAM, two-wheeler sales also recovered in the last fiscal year with the growth of almost 13% year on year to 17.9 million units, but it's still far away from its peak of 21 million, which was reported in fiscal year 19. In commercial segment, the sales of the vehicles remained flat at 9,67,000 units in fiscal year 24. Moving on, Moody's retains stable outlook for India, and they also projected over 6% growth over the next two fiscal years for the country. Agency has kept country's long-term and short-term rating unchanged, and it forecast Indian economy to expand 8% in fiscal year 24, which is higher than the government's own projection of 7.6% and also higher than its earlier estimation of 6.6%, which they predicted in November 23. And this increase has been on the account of the ongoing infrastructure push, which it feels is likely to help growth. That is all for today. Subscribe to the channel for quick and daily updates from the Economic Times news. Thank you.